Welcome viewers at home to Throwback 70 News. I'm Addie.
I'm Noelle.
And I'm Parker. We will be hosting our show today and time traveling to the 70s, so grab your bell bottoms and come along for the ride.
Today we have Devin with Earth Day,
Jackson with weather,
Benna with Special Olympics,
Grayson with Popeye,
Ari with fashion,
Addie with technology,
Noelle with Disney World,
and last but not least, Parker with the Red Sox.
First, we will start off with Devin, who is going to tell us about the first Earth Day.
Thanks, Parker. Today we're taking a trip back in time to April 22nd, 1970, when something groundbreaking happened. It was the first ever Earth Day, a global event that aimed to raise awareness about the environmental issues facing our planet. On that historic day, an incredible 20 million people from all corners of the globe showed up to participate. They came together to demonstrate their concern for Earth and its future. Leading up to this momentous occasion, people had been grappling with some serious environmental challenges. Gas consumption was skyrocketing, contributing to air pollution. Companies were producing massive amounts of smoke, further polluting air quality. Another alarming issue was deforestation. Every year, 15 billion trees were being cut down, leaving countless animals without homes. To stop this, people began to take action by planting trees to help preserve the earth, protect its wildlife. Another major concern was the pollution of our oceans. Each year, millions of plastic bottles, caps, wrappers, and straws were being thrown away into the sea. Sadly, marine creatures often mistook this for food, leading to devastating consequences for marine life. There's still much work to be done, but with continued efforts and awareness, we can strive to create a healthier planet for generations to come. Back to you in the studio.
Now every Earth Day, I'm going to pick up some trash.
Yeah, same.
I wish we had more snow days this year.
I bet they had a bunch in 1978.
Here is Jackson reporting on the blizzard of 78.
Thanks, Noelle. Winter in the 1970s will be long remembered for not only heavy snow, but bitterly cold temperatures. There were unforgettable snowstorms that were temperatures that were below zero. Almost 6 feet of snow fell during the month of January in 1979. The blizzard of 78 was a rough storm. On February 6th and 7th, a winter storm dumped almost 2 feet of snow in New Hampshire. Winds blew at 90 miles per hour, this is as strong as a hurricane. Schools were closed for a week. Around 100 people died and 4,500 were injured. Hundreds of cars were stranded on the highways due to low visibility. There was so much snow on that it covered the tops of cars. That was crazy. This is a storm New England will not forget. On January 10, 1975, a severe blizzard struck the upper Midwest. It is also referred as the blizzard of the century. It started out as a warm day for mid-January. It quickly turned into a big snowstorm. Wind speeds of 60 miles per hour. People were not able to do anything because there's too much snow, and everything was shut down because people lost power for days. Snowmobiles were used to rescue people. These were just two examples of blizzard in the 1970s. These storms caused a lot of damage a long time ago. Back to you in the studio.
They had a lot of snow in the 78. I wish I was there so I didn't have to go to school.
I agree.
Our next story is very impressive because it has to do with one of our newscast members.
This newscast member is Bennett, and he's reporting on the Special Olympics.
Hi, my name is Ben Fergal, this is the Special Olympics.
The second International Special Olympics Summer Games happened in August 1970. There were 1,500 athletes. In August 1975 was the fourth International Games. Sports were basketball, bowling, gymnastics, and track and field. The first ever Winter Games was in 1977. Winter Games had skiing and skiing revenge. Boxing, Najee Muhammad Ali supported the Olympics in 1979. Keep a look of Special Olympics every 2 years.
Did you know that Bennett participated in the Special Olympics this year and placed in downhill skiing?
No, that's crazy. Good job, Bennett.
Did you eat your spinach today?
No, why would I eat spinach?
It's supposed to make you strong.
I did. Here's Grayson to tell us about Popeye.
Thanks, Noel. The all-new Popeye is a cool cartoon from the 1970s. But did you know Popeye is super special? He's the first cartoon to ever have a statue made in his honor. Yep, a whole statue just for him. Back in the day, during the Great Depression, Popeye made spinach really popular. People thought if Popeye eats it for strength, they should too. Popeye has this funny saying, "I eat me spinach," and it always makes us giggle. Jack Mercer, the guy who gives Popeye his voice, makes it sound even funnier. Now Popeye has some cool friends. There's Wimpy, who loves burgers, and it's kinda lazy but smart too. Dawes Butler is the one who talks for Wimpy. And there's Olive Oil, Popeye's girlfriend. Her name comes from cooking oil. She's sweet but gets into funny situations. Mae Questel is the one who talks for Olive Oil. And oh boy, there's Bluto, Popeye's big enemy. He's always causing trouble, especially trying to win Olive Oil's heart. Jackson Beck makes Bluto sound tough. So Popeye's adventures are really fun, and he's still making us smile today. That's all about Popeye for now. Back to you in the studio.
Wow, Popeye's a cool character, but I'm a huge fan of Olive Oil.
Yeah, that country sounds great. I'm going to watch it when I get home.
I wonder what fashion was like in the 70s.
I bet it was pretty groovy. Next up's Aubrey with fashion.
Thanks, Addie. In the groovy world of the 1970s fashion, it was all about making a statement with style. Fashion icons everywhere were wearing bold colors and funky hairstyles that are still turning heads today. Some famous models in the 70s include Lauren Houghton, Grace Jones, Renee Russo, Jerry Hall, and Patty Hansen. They strutted their stuff in classic 70s colors like brown, orange, light orange, and teal, setting the stage for fabulous fashion of the era. Makeup was also a big deal back then, with daring looks featuring light blue or gold eyeshadow, paired with black liner. Talk about making a statement. And speaking of statements, let's talk hair. While big hair may be associated with the 80s and 90s, 70s were no stranger to larger-than-life hairstyles. According to RealSimple.com, afros were all the rage with their bouncy, playful appeal. Another trendy hairdo was the wolf cut, known for its textured style that stood out from the crowd. But it wasn't just about the hair. The clothes were just as groovy. Hippie vibes were making regular appearances. Picture this: flower bell-bottoms paired with a white tank top, topped off with a bandana headband and some cool shades. And let's not forget about the boys. They were rocking denim bell-bottoms with sweater vests and long-sleeve shirts, or maybe some white cargo pants with a laid-back tank top. Their hair was more of a shag cut, a wavy style that covered the ears. Back to you in the studio.
Interesting style back then, but I would not wear that now.
They didn't have a lot of fancy technology in the 70s.
Let's hear what Addie has to say about that.
Thanks, Noel. Have you ever had to lift weights while on the phone with your friends? Back in the 70s, they had to do that every time they picked up a wireless phone that weighed 4.4 pounds. Today, you will be learning about computers, TVs, and phones. These three items are so different from today. How do you communicate on a computer now? In the 70s, they could only use email to communicate computer to computer. At first, computers were only allowed to do science and math until Apple came to mathematicians' attention. Apple started selling to people that were not scientists or mathematicians. At first, they were only able to sell 175 computers to the public because of the difficulty to get to this point. Personal computers look like smaller versions of a TV. Another thing, there was only one program to do research. It was called DataPoint 2000. A big success in the 70s was the wireless phone. Inventor Martin Cooper was the first to create one. He was in the Guinness Book of World Records 1973 for this big success for his company. The wireless phone, also known as the brick, because it weighed 4.4 pounds. Today, cell phones weigh between 4 and 7 ounces. That is a crazy difference. Martin's first phone was called Motorola X, Dentex 8000X. It was a big hit. How many of you seen shows from the 70s? One of the more popular shows was Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? It It was the best cartoon in the US. Other popular ones were Soap and Mash. You could watch your favorite movies or series on cassette tapes because TVs only had 5 channels. These VHS tapes were put in a box attached to the television. These are just a few examples of technology in the 70s. Would you like to have phones, computers, and TVs like those from the 70s, or are you happy with what we have now? Back to you in the studio.
Great question. Addie, I would prefer now than the 70s.
Definitely.
Parker, have you ever been to Disney World?
Yes, it's awesome. Speaking of Disney World, here's Noel with a story on the opening day of Disney World in Florida.
Thanks, Parker. Get ready to embark on a magical journey back in time to the enchanting world of Disney. Did you know that Disney World, the happiest place on earth, opened its first gates on October 1st, 1971? That's right. It's been spreading joy for decades. And guess what the very first ride was? It was Prince Charming Rheault Carousel. Imagine hopping onto a majestic carousel horse and taking a spin around. Pure enchantment. Now, here's a cool tidbit. Did you know that the Prince Charming Rheault Carousel used to be on the water? Yep, you heard that right. It added an extra splash of fun to the magical experience. But wait, there's more excitement. In 1975, Disney World introduced the iconic Space Mountain original. Now, every Disney park around the world has its own version of Space Mountain. It's like a thrilling roller coaster ride through the stars. Talk about out-of-this-world fun. Now hold on to your hats, because here's something that'll blow your mind. On the first day of Disney World opened, tickets just cost $3.50 per person. Can you believe it? Fast forward to today, tickets cost over $100. So there you have it, some super cool fun facts. Super cool Disney World fun facts to brighten up your day. Back to you in the studio for more magical adventures.
Those are some cool facts about Disney World. I can't believe it was so cheap to go.
Addie, do you like baseball? What's your favorite team?
Yes, I like the Red Sox. Parker's going to report on a historic team.
Thanks, Addie. Get ready for a fantastic story from way back in the 1975. It's all about baseball, excitement, and a bit of disappointment, but trust me, it's still a thrilling tale. Picture this. The Red Sox were the talk of the town. The fans were everywhere, buzzing with excitement. They were sure this was going to be their year to win the World Series. Players like Rick Huger, Bill Lee, and Roger Mort were the stars of the team. And let's not forget about Ken Griffey Jr., Sr. on the Reds team. The series started off with a bang as the Red Sox won the first game, but then things got a little tough. The second and third games didn't go as planned, but you know what? The fans didn't lose hope. They cheered even louder, and guess what? It worked. The Red Sox won the fourth game, and suddenly the series was tied up. But the excitement didn't stop there. The Reds won the next game, putting them ahead, but the Red Sox didn't give up now. No way. They fought back and won the next game, tying the series again. Now get ready for the most thrilling part, Game 7. The Red Sox were playing at home and they were determined to win. They started off strong, scoring 3 runs in the third inning, but sadly things didn't go their way after that. The Reds managed to score more runs and in the end, they won the game. But hey, even though that the Red Sox didn't win the big championship, they still made history. Carlton Fisk had an amazing home run during that season, and people still talk about it today. It is one of the most memorable seasons for the Red Sox, even though that they didn't take home the trophy. Back to you in the studio.
Wow, that was a big accomplishment for the Red Sox.
For sure.
Wow, these stories were really good, and things were very difficult in the 70s.
They sure were. This is the Nap Crew signing out, also known as
Noel,
Addie,
Parker.
Have a groovy day.
Hi, I'm Gigi.
I'm Hatijah.
And I'm James. And this is WMTT News. First, we have Ian with John Lennon.
Ari with the weather.
Jonah with Julius Erving. Harper with the 1980s style.
Me with technology of the 80s.
Gigi with music of the 80s. And last but not least, James with the king of pop.
Okay, take it away, Ian.
Thanks, TJ. All you need is love. John Lennon was English singer, songwriter, and an artist who rose worldwide fame as the founder of the rock band The Beatles. Lennon started The Beatles in his hometown of Liverpool, England. People were excited by their music, and their live performances always pleased audiences. After The Beatles stopped making records in 1970, he lived in the United States with his wife Yoko Ono and continued his music career up until his death in 1980. On December 8, 1980, Lennon was shot dead as he was going into his home. Fans all over the world mourned Lennon's death. It made them feel like a special part of their lives was gone. Many fans met in New York Central Park near where Lennon and Ono lived to say their goodbyes. Lennon's music is still played everywhere, and people are still touched by it. There is now a garden in Central Park in Lennon's memory called Strawberry Field after one of Lennon's most popular songs. Back to you in the studio.
The Beatles are such a great band.
Mr. Rheault plays some of their songs in class.
John Lennon was very talented songwriter.
Okay, now I think we need to switch to Ari with some weather events from the 1980s.
Thanks, TJ. Let's talk about the weather in the 1980s. It was pretty wild. First off, there was a super long heat wave in the southwest that lasted for 3 whole months. Can you imagine? It made everything really hot, and it caused a lot of problems. It ruined about 20 billion worth of crops, which made it tough for farmers. Plus, it made people use more power, and it even messed up roads and highways. Sadly, it almost made some people really sick also. And it even caused 1,320 people to lose their lives all across the country. And then guess what? There were floods too. They made a big mess and caused over $1 billion in losses. But wait, there is more. Hurricane Allen came along and caused about $5 billion in damage to homes and stuff. And it took 2 lives. Scary, right? Now let's talk about how hot it got. The temperature shot up to a whopping 51 degrees Celsius. That's 124 degrees Fahrenheit, 5 times during the 1980s. Can you believe it? It was like an oven. It got that hot in places like Bullhead, Arizona, Death Valley, California, and 3 times in Bark, California. But wait. Here's a twist. It also got really cold in some places. In Alaska, it dropped to a freezing negative 56 degrees Celsius. That's negative 68 degrees Fahrenheit. At the Talk Weather Station, which is 150 miles southwest of Fairbanks. Even in the lower 48 states, it was freezing. The coldest temperature recorded at negative 44 degrees Celsius in Windham, Montana. The weather in the 1980s was all over the place. Hot, cold, floods, hurricanes. It was quite an adventure. Back to you, studio.
That is some extreme weather.
I agree.
Now take it away, Dr. Jonah.
Thanks, James. In the world of basketball, one name shines brightly. Dr. J, also known as Julius Erving. Let's take a look at the incredible journey of this sports legend. Dr. J was born on February 22nd, 1950 in Roosevelt, New York. His love for basketball began in high school, where he quickly became known for his skills on the court. Did you know his famous nickname, Dr. J, came from a friend who called him Doctor because of his incredible moves? After high school, Dr. J attended the University of Massachusetts Amherst, where he excelled in basketball. In college, he averaged an amazing 26 points and 20 rebounds per game, setting records and making a name for himself. In 1971, Dr. J was drafted by the Virginia Squires and soon became a star player, averaging around 29 points per game. He later joined the New York Nets, where he won championships and earned the title for Most Valuable Player in 1974. Dr. J's career reached new heights when he joined the Philadelphia 76ers in the NBA. He led his team to victory, showcasing his incredible talent and earning his first NBA Finals win in 1983. Throughout his career, Dr. J faced tough competition, including legendary rivalries with players like Larry Bird. Despite challenges, he continued to impress fans with his skills, earning recognition as one of the greatest basketball players of all time. In 1987, Dr. J retired from professional basketball, leaving behind a legacy of greatness. He won 3 championships and scored over 30,000 points, solidifying his place in basketball history. Back to you in the studio.
I mean, we can all agree that he is the GOAT.
I love basketball.
Oops, I thought Jonah was Dr. J. Go on, Harper, with the style of the 80s.
Thanks, Gigi. In the 1980s, fashion was all about being big, bright, and bold. Let's dive into the exciting world of 80s style icons and trends. In the 80s, women rocked big hair and neon colors. From ripped sweatshirts to colorful tracksuits, the motto was to stand out. Leotards were a huge hit, with a whopping 21 million purchased in 1984 alone. During workouts, women paired their leotards with leg warmers and sweatbands, often dancing away with jazzercise. Makeup in the 80s was anything but ordinary. Think bright pink lipstick, blue eyeshadow, and electric-colored mascara. Accessories were a must-have, with big earrings, bangle bracelets, and bold gold chains completing the look. Boys had their own sense of style in the 80s. From suits to bomber jackets, they wore it all. Popular shoes included Vans, Converse, Adidas, and Doc Martens. Neon colors like pink, blue, yellow, and green were all the rage. Hair was a big part of the 80s look. Women flaunted big hair, high ponies, and crimped styles, while some even sported mohawks. Hairspray was their secret weapon for keeping those hairstyles in place. Men had their own unique styles. From mullets to the iconic perm, some even dyed their hair wild colors like orange, pink, and blue. So there you have it, a glimpse into the fabulous fashion of the 1980s. From neon colors to big hair, it was a decade of daring style and unforgettable trends. Back to you in the studio.
Okay, not going to lie, I really like the 80s style.
For real, it's so colorful.
Would I look good with a mullet?
No, definitely not.
Never.
Okay, you're up next.
Thanks, James. In the 1980s, technology boomed brighter than neon lights. Let's dive into the gadgets that were introduced to our world back then. First up, picture this, the Sony Walkman cassette player. It hit the scene in the early 80s, changing how we listen to music. Imagine strolling down the street, grooving to your favorite tunes, thanks to this portable music player. Then came the Nintendo Game Boy, the ultimate portable game console. Kids everywhere went bonkers for this pocket-sized device, bringing gaming fun on the go. It was like having an arcade in your backpack. Now let's talk about phones. Back then, they were as basic as a plain cheese pizza. No fancy apps or selfies, just good old calling. But hey, they got the job done. Fast forward to music mania with CDs. These shiny discs spun their ways into our lives, filling our cars with sweet tunes and jazzing up movie nights. Family time, say hello to the telescreen. It wasn't just a TV, it was a high-tech marvel. You could watch shows, beef up security, and even tune into the news. Talk about multitasking, feeling gamey, enter the personal computer. Whether sitting at home or at the local library, you could enjoy some digital fun, games, videos, you name it. PCs had it. But wait, there's more. In '82, medical history was made with the first artificial heart transplant, thanks to Dr. Willem Kolff and his team at the University of Utah. Barney Clark got a new lease on life. Talk about a heart-pounding breakthrough. Who could forget the Casio calculator watch? It was the ultimate wrist accessory, keeping time and crunching numbers. Thanks Casio Toshio for making us all punctual pros. So there you have it, a blast from the past with 80s tech wonders. Who knew the future could be so rad? Back to you in the studio.
I wish I had better phones in the 80s. Imagine just using them for calls.
Well, it's different now. Who makes phone calls anymore?
I use my phone for music. I wonder what 80s music was like. Take it away, Gigi.
Thanks, James. Anthrax is something that gets you sick. It's horrible, strong. It's a heavy metal band name if there ever was one. Anthrax was an American band that was very popular in the 1980s. The band consisted of Scott Ian, lead guitarist, Joey Belladonna, drum kit, John Bush, lead vocalist, Dan Spitz, another lead guitar, and Shelly Bennett, also on the drum kit, and Frank Bello, bass guitar. Anthrax's first show was in Great Glidersleeve's New York Club. The heavy metal band was one of the first thrash metal bands, along with the band Overkill and Nuclear Assault. To gain popularity in the music world, the band's lineup has changed numerous times over their career, leaving Ian, who is the one that started the band, as the only consistent member of the band. The band has had revolting cast of singers and lead guitarists, such as Neil Turbin, John Bush, Dan Spitz, and Rob Cagano. Ian and Bennett, who replaced one-time drummer Greg Delangelo in 1983, are the only two members to appear on every album, while Bello has been a member of the Anthrax band since 1984, replacing original bassist Dan Liker. Anthrax music has stood up for the test of time. They are still considered one of the world's most popular metal groups of all time. According to Vogue magazine, the band was one of the most popular bands of the 80s thrash metal scene and are notable for combining metal with rap and hardcore music early on. The band has sold over 10 million albums worldwide. They're classified as one of the big four of thrash metal bands alongside Metallica, Slayer, and Megadeth. Anthrax will always be considered one of the top bands of the 1980s. Back to you in the studio.
This newscast is rockin'. Dang, this banger slays.
Not all music in the 80s was this heavy. James, tell us about the King of Pop.
Gigi, today we're taking a trip back in time to the groovy 1980s where one man ruled the music sense like no other. The one and only Michael Jackson, the King of Pop. Michael Jackson wasn't just any singer. He was one of the best in the world. And his music still brings joy to people's hearts today. Known for his incredible talent, Michael Jackson captured audiences with his amazing voice and iconic dance moves like the moonwalk and his signature hee-hee sound. But Michael's journey to stardom didn't happen overnight. He started performing with his four brothers in the Jackson 5, where even as a young boy of just 5 years old, he showed the world his great talent. By the age of 11, Michael was already appearing on TV, and at 14, he released his first solo album, setting the stage for his solo career. As Michael grew older, he set his stage's pop album ever, with his album filled with hit after hit. He achieved his dream and won the credible 8 Grammy Awards, including Album of the Year and Record of the Year. Despite his great success, tragic struck in 2000s when Michael Jackson passed away. His untimely death left a void in this music world, but his legacy lives on through his timeless music and iconic performances. Michael Jackson wasn't just an entertainer in the 80s, he was a legend whose music continues to inspire people of all ages. Now that you know a bit more about Michael, the King of Pop, tell us, who was your favorite singer back in the 80s? Back to you in the studio.
What if we all try the laugh?
Sure, girl.
Why not?
This was fun. Thanks for watching WMTT News.
Hi, I'm Amelia. Ready for takeoff?
And I'm Maddie, reporting for duty.
Don't forget about me, I'm Rheault.
Really? And this is Mystery Taco News.
We have some facts for you that our friends will tell you about.
First, we have Caroline with weather.
Next, Moral with Ronaldo Nazario.
Then Christian with PlayStation.
After that, Maddie with music and dancing.
Last but certainly not least, Amelia with fashion.
Let's hand it over to Caroline with weather.
Thanks, guys. If you like weather, you're in the right place. Today we're going to learn about weather in the 1990s. On March 12th to 14th, 1993, a massive blizzard came down on eastern Kentucky. It was very rare because it is usually warm in this state. The storm lasted 3 days with heavy snowfall totaling from 6 to 30 inches. Below temperatures caused the death of a man who froze walking from his home into town. It cost $5.5 billion in damage. A tornado is a rotating column of air touching the ground. It is usually tied to a thunderstorm. It is one of nature's most violent storms. On March 13, 1990, a tornado called Houston Tornado hit Harvey County 8 miles southwest of Britain. It was a very scary and devastating tornado. It caused nearly $25 million in damage. The tornado damaged 226 homes and 21 businesses. Also, during the 1990s, a heat wave hit the United Kingdom. A weather station recorded 98.8 degrees Fahrenheit. That's almost 100. It was the highest temperature ever recorded in Britain, beating the previous record in 1911. It started August 1st and ended August 4th. I hope you enjoyed this, and this was weather in the 1990s. Back to you in the studio.
Wow, I didn't know a tornado could do that much damage.
Yeah, me neither.
You know who caused damage on the football field? Ronaldo Nazario.
Do you mean soccer?
No, I mean football.
Well, I'm so confuzzled. I mean confused.
Football is soccer in almost every other country but the USA.
Oh, I get it now.
Let's hand it over to Morale with Ronaldo Nazario.
Thanks, Maddie. Hey everyone, get ready to be amazed because we're diving into the incredible story of Ronaldo Luis Nazario de Lima, a football superstar like no other. Did you know that Ronaldo won the FIFA World Cup at the young age of 17? Yep, you heard it right, 17. And if you haven't heard of him yet, you're in for a treat. Born in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, Ronaldo grew up in a humble family with 5 members. Despite his humble beginnings, Ronaldo's talent for football shone bright from an early age. Throughout his career, Ronaldo played for big names like FC Barcelona, Real Madrid CF, and AC Milan. He made waves in the football world, scoring impressive 200 goals by the age of 23. But Ronaldo's journey wasn't without its challenges. He faced a series of knee injuries that kept him sidelined for 3 years. However, he bounced back stronger than ever, rejoining Real Madrid in 2002. At just 17 years old, Ronaldo became the youngest member of the Brazilian squad to win the FIFA World Cup in 1994. And in the 1998 tournament, he received the Golden Ball as the player of the tournament, leading Brazil to the final. Before retiring, Ronaldo played a total of 177 games and scored an incredible 879 goals. Throughout his career, his dedication to the sport is truly inspiring. Off the field, Ronaldo's personal life is just as fascinating. He faced challenges early on when his parents separated when he was only 11 years old. Despite these obstacles, Ronaldo pursued his passion for football, dropping out of school to focus on his dreams. Today, Ronaldo is happily married to Selena Locks, and they have 2 beautiful children, Alexander and Ronald de Lima. His journey from a young boy with a dream to a football legend is nothing short of remarkable, and that's an incredible story for Ronaldo Luis Nazario de Lima. Back to you in the studio.
Oof, his knee must have been hurting.
Matt Bobadil.
That's not my last name.
Then what is it?
Change the topic. What were you thinking about?
Gaming.
What do you game on?
PlayStation.
Speaking of PlayStation, here's Christian with a story about the first PlayStation.
Thanks, Rheault. It all started back then in 1994 when the first PlayStation was introduced to the world. Since then, PlayStation has released 11 gaming consoles, including the classic PlayStation, PlayStation 1, PS2, and the sleek PS2 Slimline. With each new console came a whole new world of gaming possibilities. But that's not all. PlayStation also has an impressive library of games, with something for everyone to enjoy. And if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you get access to even more games for free. Plus, you'll receive 2 recommended games each month as part of your membership. The latest addition to the PlayStation family is the PS5, packed with innovative features that take gaming to a whole new level. One cool feature is the share button, which allows you to capture and save gaming moments with just the press of a button. And with the PS app on your phone, you can easily access and save your captured videos and photos wherever you go. Since its debut in 1995, PlayStation has skyrocketed in popularity. Today, over 123 million people own or play a PlayStation console. Can you believe it? PlayStation has been dominating the gaming scene for over 29 years. That's all for now for the world of PlayStation. Back to you in the studio.
I wonder if you can play Just Dance on that PlayStation.
Great moves. Let's hand it over to Maddie with music and dancing.
Thanks, Morale. Music in the 1990s was not that different than it is now. In the 90s, they had pop music with singers like Michael Jackson and boy bands like Backstreet Boys and rock singers like Bryan Adams. A very popular genre was rap. There were a lot of rap artists like Eminem, Tupac Shakur, Busta Rhymes, and lots more. Country singers like Garth Brooks were famous for hit songs like Friends in Low Places. Tim McGraw and George Strait were also popular names in the country circuit. But wait, I'm not done yet. I forgot one thing, dancing. You can't have a party without dancing. Dancing in the 1990s was all sorts of cool and interesting and also a little bit weird. There are many different ways and kinds of dancing. Some of them require skill, others just movement. Have you ever tried the sprinkler or the Macarena? How about the electric side of the cha-cha slide? There were many ways to bust a move in the 90s. Dancing and music were a great way to have fun. Back to you in the studio. I wonder if They wore silly outfits while they were dancing.
I bet the 90s had some pretty crazy fits. Let's hand over to Amelia with fashion.
Thanks, Merle. Are you into fashion? Well, get ready for a trip down memory lane as we explore the trendy styles of the 1990s. It was a time when baggy coats and colorful jeans ruled the streets, and everyone had their own unique flair. Back in the 1990s, baggy coats were all the rage. It seemed like everyone was sporting them. It paired with big shirts underneath for that extra cool look. But that's not all. Fashion in the 90s was all about mixing and matching different pieces to create bold and eclectic outfits. Check out this fanny pack I found. They were a must-have accessory back in the day, along with overalls and flannel dresses. And let's not forget about those curly hairdos that were so popular. Now, here are some fun facts about 90s fashion. Denim button-down Western shirts were a staple for many women, along with colored jeans and shades like green, red, and purple. Music and film industry inspired a lot of the fashion trends during this time, with vibrant colors like blues, yellows, oranges, purples, and whites dominating the scene. For men, ripped jeans were the ultimate fashion statement, along with baggy pants, tank tops, and watches. The colorful palette for men's fashion included shades of green, white, red, yellow, and orange, adding a splash of color to their wardrobes. And let's not forget about hair. Braids, baby hair, ponytails, you name it. People were experimenting with all sorts of hairstyles to complete their look. So there you have it. Fashion in the 1990s was all about expressing yourself and having fun with your style. Who knows, maybe some of these trends will make a comeback. Back to you in the studio.
Glad I don't have to wear that.
Well, it's coming back.
That will do it for us at Mr. Taco News.
Thanks for watching Mr. Taco News.